Hi, I'm Dr. Tina Brooks, and I'm an educator, long-term educator, working as a school counselor, the Safe Schools specialist, and especially the crisis response specialist. And we're here bringing a school here at Troysgate so that they can experience in a controlled, safe environment a real incident where they can feel it, hear it, taste it, see it, and know that they can survive and be successful and resilient.
My name is Randy Martin. I developed Troysgate, and the reason I developed Troysgate is so that I could place law enforcement personnel into life and death situations using real guns and real bullets and real people. By doing that, we're building resiliency in the brain of that operator or policeman so that if they ever have to go into a daily encounter, they know how to do what they need to do. With the educators, the reason you're here is to experience what it's like to be around a life and death situation with real gunfire and real people shooting real bullets and doing dangerous things. With that comes the knowledge of what it's going to be like, so you can pre-plan what you would do in a real life and death situation to save lives. And the finger should always be outside this trigger guard, always. Imagine this gun being a laser beam that would cut somebody in half. So everywhere this thing slices, you cut somebody in half. Anytime you point this gun at someone, they're really shooting people. I don't focus on sight alignment. I don't, because sights are useless. My guns don't even have them.
Remember we just talked about when you lose your
Yeah,
direction,
you can't find me from the sight. It's impossible. People say they can. I can if I'm hunting. Now if I'm hunting.
The section that I train is called Permission to be Human, because there is a predictable way the body, everybody responds to the human stress response. So we look at the heart rate and how the mind and how our senses change as the heart rate goes up. We teach deep breathing to bring that heart rate down. We look at the post-traumatic stress symptoms of digestive systems, the headaches, all these things. But then we mainly look at post-traumatic growth. Difficult times can make people stronger. They can give them resources that they can use now, and we need to build on, did it make me stronger? Did I learn something from it? And what did I learn that I can now pass on to other people? We are here to build resiliency about bending forward into the person you are becoming.
Chad Anderson, instructor with Troysgate. I'm in charge of overall safety here at the firing range, including live fire in the shoot house and not in the shoot house, on the range. And every time you have your gun out here at Troysgate, I'm in charge of it.
Hello, my name is Tim Honeycutt. I'm a range safety officer with Troysgate. I've been involved with Troysgate for 22 years now. And this week, we had the opportunity to take people with little or no experience with firearms and give them a quick overview of how to safely handle a handgun, operate it, engage a target, and then as a finisher, we gave them a short take on how to handle a self-loading rifle in caliber .223, and it seemed like everybody had a good time, and we really enjoyed having everybody here.
There you go. That's good. All right. So looking at the flag guy, we're going to fire 5 rounds. Tim, move your phone.
You want to grab up there, don't you? I don't know why. Figure off the trigger.
During our experience with the school, we had some personnel that had never handled a firearm or through trauma in their childhood had been exposed to a negative effect of firearms, and we were able to work through that with them in a slow, methodical way that they learned to safely handle a firearm and not to be afraid, and that they can overcome their past traumas through experience and a controlled environment learning. This good?
Just have to bring it back a little. Okay.
Press. Yeah. Press. Press. That's all you're going to feel, really. So hold your hands up there. I'm going to push you harder than the gun's going to push you, all right? So push against it a little bit. There you go. And it's going to go something like this.
Mate,
Yeah. Yeah. So let me see this.
I feel so
There
powerful
we go.
right there.
Now, put that thumb right there. And another thing is spread your feet apart and act like you're going to try to push the gun through the paper. So just lean forward, push. Now press the trigger one
The
time.
magazine might be out.
No.
Okay. I mean, looks like it was ajar. May not be.
It must not be loose.
Yeah, it
All right, you want to do it one more time? Lean into it.
There you go.
Yeah. Press, just press. There you go. Keep going. Let's go until you empty the
Might as well.
magazine. Just
Be really
one
used to it.
click at a time. Just one click at a time. Just there you go. You're not hurting anybody. You're making
Try
a
to shoot
whole
that one.
piece of paper.
And number one, try to shoot it.
There you go. One more time. And one more. I don't have any. There you go. You're done.
Hey, look at that.
See, it locks itself open.
Nothing in it. Safe.
Nothing in it. It's safe. You're not hurt. Nobody's hurt, and you did it today.
And look at that group.
Yeah,
Good job.
yes, ma'am.
Much better than most of them.
Really?
I mean, really.
Yeah, she's shooting better than most cops.
I think part of it that really hit me was when y'all said it's a hunter mentality. And I never thought of it that way. And believe it or not, it was my son, and he's like, Mom, he says, you know what you're going to do if it's your kids. But I think it's the unknown. And what I think, like I assume that the shooter's going to come right in the front door. I was talking to Case, I said, well, you think he's going to come right in the front door? And he says, probably not. And I said, it would help if we understood, like if we had a little bit more into the psychology of how these people think, you know, because then I started running all these scenarios, like, Lisa, what would you do? Would you try to go out through the warehouse door, take the kids up onto the field, or would I barricade myself and my kids in the room and protect them the best that I could?
Good. That was good. So let's talk about this. In our minds, we already have a pre-perceived action that we think that we will do if that happens. So here, we're actually able to take you there so that shock factor from this, just like what happened at the school, after it's over with, you're able to talk about it and you're able to help with more pre-thought about it because you've been exposed to something that you really haven't ever been exposed to, if that makes sense. So what we're going to do to you guys is take you to the room, let you hear the sounds, let you see some action, let you hear some real gunfire, just so you can build up some resiliency to that. So if it does ever happen, knock on wood, we pray it never happens, but if it does, we've been there. I know what to do. I grab my kids. I got some kind of a thought that I can respond back to. That's why you're here today. And so that, let's go to this stuff that's unknown to us. Let's make it known so when something like this happens, bam, I can do it.
Yeah.
That's the magic. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Casey Conard. I've been in law enforcement since 2008. What we're doing here today is taking people through our shoot house and getting some exposure for our teachers and staff. We want to expose them to different types of gunfire so they can see, feel, and smell what it's like. We want to know what to expect and to be prepared if there's a trigger. In the shoot house, there's a protector side and an actor side. And we have the teachers group up in the protector side and see what it's like for the intruder to come in and have shots fired. Then we have them over in the actor side, just surrounding the room, just to see what it's like if somebody was to come into the room, and they can experience what that gunfire is like in the room with them. And then we also have some gunfire outside to trigger that, so they know what it's like to start the process when they hear that shots fired outside. This was offered to all of our staff and teachers. We have about 90% of them who have volunteered to come through this scenarios. We've taken them through and show them both sides of the shoot house, show them that it is perfectly safe, and there's ballistic steel between the actual gunfire, the live fire, and where they're at. Then we do add in some sound effects, just kind of a school sound, almost what it would sound like in a lunchroom, just kids. And then there's some shots fired there, just so they can kind of put their minds where they would be and then have that trigger.
I'm Zach, and I love this job. I get to push to the edge and beyond, and you all die in my category.
That was a pistol. This one's going to be a long gun. You feel this one? A little more, you'll hear it. It's going to be louder. Take it off. All right, and this one, a shotgun. Yeah, get ready for this one. It's going to be a little bit different. Yeah, you come in with a long gun now.
Now what?
Are we doing shotgun too?
Yes.
Then that.
The middle is.
Sorry. Yeah, it's low. I missed it.
So now, I'm a shooter. I plan to come to Newton Mixed School. So I start laying out my plan on what to do. Any little thing that goes wrong changes the whole outcome.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we lock the doors, make sure they're not propped open when we go outside. That's why we see a stranger on the premises, we call Casey, we tell each other. That's why we do things. We keep the target hardened. We communicate, and we do everything we can to break what that person has decided to do. So when they come in the room, he's already expecting you guys to run. But all of a sudden, there's two teachers running after him. That changes his thinking completely, and it will create failure from the beginning. And that's what we want. Anything we do to create a failure from the beginning gives the option for Casey more time to respond, give Morgan or PD time to respond, and it helps everybody else that's around. It's got those little kids.
I do think it was very beneficial. I was not going to come, and decided Sunday night, Sharon and I talked, so I'm very glad I did.
Right.
I'm very,
I found it very informative. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I learned a lot. All y'all done, I wouldn't change, for our group anyway, I thought our group's done well. I wouldn't change any of it.
Thank you for your comments.
Same thing. I think I learned a lot, and I learned a lot about me.
That's what it is.
Because I always ask that question to myself. I mean, that day that I sat on him, but I didn't want to do that. And I went and told my husband, I said, you won't believe what I did? And he looked at me and, oh, I believe it. I would never.
I think we got her and her kill brain at the school.
I thought it was great. I had never heard of Troysgate before. And my husband is a retired police chief. He was not familiar with it either. I think it's just an awesome program. And I came from Burke County Public Schools. This is my first year at the Dimensions, and I think it would be awesome to get the whole school system involved.
A couple of things. Number one, I've always had an appreciation for our law officials, the people who serve and protect this country, and seeing just a tiny, tiny bit of the training that they have to go through and the risk that they put on the table every single day so that I can sit here. I'm very, very appreciative to that. And also, I think my biggest takeaway for the day is what you said just a few minutes ago, and that I refuse to be a victim. And I may die trying, but I refuse to be a victim. And I think that that's what my brain needed to hear above anything else.